Aloha! Alright, I think it's a good follow-up to yesterday's ending of my video. We need to be free to disagree. So we got a cool tune by Tom Petty. I was actually kind of inspired to play this one by Glenn Campbell, who, if you don't know, even you people who know who he is, was just one of the most brilliant musicians / guitar players ever to walk on earth, at least in popular music, I guess. You know, you can go into things, but he was unbelievable. And he was also a member of the Wrecking Crew, you know, that famous studio musicians in LA who played on thousands of hits. But all of those people were mainly trained musicians that could read music and stuff, and Glenn Campbell was so good that he couldn't read music, but he was still part of all that and a vital part of it. Played on Strangers in the Night by Frank Sinatra. Ton of Beach Boys stuff. He even toured with the Beach Boys when Brian Wilson first stepped down for a tour or two. He played bass, I believe. But it's a Tom Petty song. And but I saw Glenn Campbell do it, and I was like, that is just a cool tune. Good. It's one of those big strummers too, which just full chords, which may not be the actual reality, but for me it is. So here it goes. It's called Walls. That was a true first taker. Just it's about as simple and basic as you can get. And even walls do fall down. Yeah, he got some of those basic tunes that are just hit the nail. He was a great songwriter, you know. You can't argue that some of it. I don't know. There's really nothing bad to say about Tom Petty. Pretty good. Yeah, you know, everybody's entitled to their own opinion, obviously, but you know, obviously, I've got like 17 followers, so I don't even get that many views for a video, and they just show this guy sitting in a locker room with a book in his hand, and it's like major news that he's reading that book or something, and he's been treated, you know, like royalty since he was like, who knows, 12, 13 years old. And at times he's shown a level head, but he's way too caught up in all this stuff, you know, and if you don't like it here, and the hypocrisy of how he makes his money through the NBA and Nike and China and stuff, and dissing our country for everything, and this we're in a bad way, man, and it really comes down to, sadly, you know, our politicians and our sports and entertainment stars that are just too simple-minded. And I like to think that mostly where I'm coming from is, I don't think I know anything. But I am trying to educate myself and pay attention to what's going on. And the story that's coming from the people who have the biggest megaphones is not the truth. And it's as simple as that. And it's not simple. You know? And there's just nothing. The United States is still the best country on earth, man. And we used to try and do right, and it was with good intentions, and now it's not. And we're just finding out that it's all back to the filthy lucre, you know? That's everything. It's just a shame. And people like that, you know, these people who have these huge megaphones and are not at all dealing with the consequences of what they are for and the policies that they promote and enact. And you know, people like Barbara Streisand and Steven Spielberg and LeBron James, they don't suffer. They don't live in the real world. You know, I mean, everybody does. I'd like to think that everybody walking on earth doesn't want to harm other people, and which is not true. You know, there are people in parts of the world, specifically, I guess, the Middle East. They don't think like we do here. They haven't had the lives we do here. They really don't have kindness in their hearts for other people and other ethnicities, and that's just a reality that naive Americans just cannot handle. And it's a reality. And I mean, look, we all think the best, but some of us are more willing to accept reality. And it's just, we're in such a bad place, man. I mean, we need to, you know, and it's just not so simple as tear down the walls or don't build the wall or anything like that. I mean, you know, like I gotta say something, man, about this Palestinian Israel, and like a more specific thing. Here's my problem. And I've never been cool with like the settlements being built, you know, going back to the 90s and 2000s and stuff, being built in the West Bank and stuff. But I don't. These Palestinian people have grown up in you know, it's been tough. I admit that, but there's a reason for that. Their leaders are corrupt people. The leaders of Hamas and the Palestinians are like living in Qatar and are like billionaires from the money that they're supposed to be spending on what's on the people there. Like, for instance, when Israel left the Gaza in 2005, they left all these modern greenhouses, you know, top of the line shit. And the Palestinians just destroyed them. And all the money that came there, that Hamas took and built these elaborate tunnels and weapons and stuff. And that's just reality, folks. And I just have a problem with the saying innocent civilians, because you've perpetuated it. There's got to be a way you can have a resistance movement if you know that they're so evil. But also, even though you may grow up and some of their education is just warped, like saying Jews have horns and tails and shit and they're evil, at some point, even though you've been raised that way, as you're an adult, when you get into your 20s and 30s and start having your own children, if you're not able to at some point be like, look, this is not the way forward. This cannot continue. We're all just people. Our shit smells. All of our shit. And so I just feel that people, you need to come to the realization that you don't have any right to impose anything on another person, how they think, say, or feel. All I'm about is think for yourself and understand that the people in charge don't care about you and they're lying to you and all they want is money and they want to keep us at bay. Here's the deal. Like people like the Obamas and all those people, all of them at the top, Republican, whatever denomination, other countries, they do not want to see working class people sitting at a restaurant on Martha's Vineyard. If you're not there pouring their water or bringing their salad, they're like, what's going on? And that's what's going on in this world. I believe it's that simple. We need to get these people in their place. If you go back, remember when COVID started, I don't know if any of you know who David Geffen is. He was just a media mogul, but he started out as like the manager of Joni Mitchell and all these people who've just been treated, canonized from a young age and don't live in reality. Well-intentioned, caring people, smart people, but they just don't have any understanding of struggling in life, I believe. But anyway, when COVID started and everybody was in it together, he sent out this tweet or whatever of his mega yacht in the Maldives. This beautiful, wide expanse shot, calm waters, his yacht, nobody around him. And he's just like, it was stay safe. It was very well intentioned. And another thing, I think David Geffen's a guy who at least did create himself. He didn't inherit his money. But and he got lambasted for it, kind of deservedly so, because I could deal with that. And not many people were. People were losing their jobs and stuff, and he didn't have to deal with any of that. I guarantee he's probably not vaxxed yet. And but these people are so out of touch, I kind of lost my train of thought right there. But we just need to understand that they don't want us around. So he ended up canceling his account and stuff and just hasn't been heard from. And I think it's junior high and high school, the real world that we live in. Think about where you work and anything. It's all about I can get this and you can't, or I deserve this, you can't, or it's your fault that you don't have that, and whose fault is that? Your own fault. It's not that simple. And some people just get lucky breaks, Somebody offers you some sort of job and you're like, I don't know, and then you take it and your life's set because you're in the machine, so to speak. So we just need to stop thinking that all this is about for me is freedom. You leave me alone and I'll leave you alone. And that should just apply. Every adult at a certain point should come to that conclusion that I shouldn't think I have any right to tell somebody else how to live. And I was watching this thing today, Jake Shimabukuro, the great ukulele player, Japanese kid from Hawaii. And but he's talking about when he met Queen Elizabeth, 2010. He played I think the Rose with Bette Midler, and everybody, it was the Prince's Trust or whatever, so they all go backstage and meet her. But they're telling her, this is what they all got told. He's like, yeah, we're told you do not reach out your hand to her. You wait until she reaches to you, and you do not speak to her first. I don't know, dude. I ain't cool with that shit. Who fuck is she? She's a fucking person with blood in her veins and stinky poo. So I'm not cool with that. Now, I don't like what's happening to them as a family, what's going on with that grifter, Meghan Markle. I hate using the names of people. Like this, I didn't really want to put that up there with his name because I don't even like giving that. But it just has to be said because he's an asshole. And but I don't like that. I don't think this royalty crap, I've never been cool with it, you know? There's something to be said for the formality of it or whatever, and you know, just being kind of a stone of a certain set of values, perhaps, but it's still ridiculous. And this whole idea that, yeah, once you start getting into the you can't say something first and stuff, it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. So, you know, I know I've said some things here that are really going to piss some people off, but you know what? I don't think I am dictating or saying anything that would lead to dictating how anybody else should see or think or believe or anything. I'm hoping you'll think, and I think the one thing that every person on earth can believe in is freedom. Personal freedom. And that really needs to be the bottom line. And I think the people in a lot of these conflict zones now, the ones we know about and the ones that have been going on that we don't know or care about, need to understand that, you know, it always comes back to like some people at the top, just a small group of people at the top who are getting rich the whole time and don't really care. And that's what it's about. And we got to reject this elitist government. There's nothing you learn at these Ivy League schools or anything else that makes you, like, to think that you're just going to hand your personal sovereignty to some jackass like that Claudine Gay or John Kerry or Lindsey Graham or Nancy Pelosi or Dick Durbin or Joe Biden or Dr. Jill Biden. You want her operating on you? These people are pompous assholes. Shallow, moralists, and morally bankrupt and unethical fools. You know, that's just a thing that rich people do now. Even though it's some useless psychology degree or something, they want to be called Dr. Jill Biden. Are you fucking shitting me? She's a fucking grifter. So, God, man, just leave me alone and everybody leave everybody alone, you know? And that's the problem, man. That's why I'm like, look, man, you're coming at me for shit. And it's just a lot of frustration. And it's a bummer. But you gotta be free to speak your mind, man. You don't have an opinion or want to express it or think you should be paying attention to what's going on. You're the problem. You're the problem. Not part of the problem. You're the problem. So, you know, stop wasting your money on paying fucking $25 for a beer and $1,400 for a ticket to watch some mediocre sports asshole kneel down when they play the national anthem and being like, I have to agree with that so I don't get canceled. Fuck you all.